It's not much of a secret that the Digitone, Digitakt and a lot of other Elektron devices have really good built-in effects. I have my Digitone here, which lately I've been using a lot for live performances with other synths, even DJ sets. And my go-to trick, if that's what you call it, is using it for a delay feedback loop. I know this effect has been used before by people like Miles Kendra, and he touched on it briefly in one of his videos. However, I still think that the effects in this box are one of the unsung heroes of Elektron, especially when it comes to the processing of external gear. People pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for Strymon Timeline and all of these amazing guitar pedals, but if you have one of these, you can also use it to make cool, interesting delay patterns for external gear, whether that's for live performance or just general sound design. I think it adds a lot of value because this box has such a decent form factor and there's so many things it can explore. I couldn't find too much detailed info on this and the inner workings of it, so I just decided to put something together myself and do a little bit of research. I'll add some chapter markers if you want to skip straight to the fun stuff, if you know this thing in and out and your fundamentals, but I think going from the ground up is helpful for some people in my experience, and so jump around. So delay feedback. Can go endlessly, as the name suggests, but if you're going to teach someone how to drive a train, you probably want to show them where the emergency brake is in case things get out of hand. This master volume, I've got it here at 12 o'clock, but this should basically be your emergency brake. There's no point letting your ears blow out or your speakers. So just, it sounds really obvious, but when you're in a situation where you have a few instruments going or you're stressed, then you're maybe not going to be able to jump into the filter or amp page or the delay menu and pull down the specific parameter for a smooth transition. Sometimes you just need to cut the cord, so to speak. Now that I've pointed out the most obvious and boring thing, talk the signal path all the way through. I'm using my guitar as an example of the external instrument, just because that's what I have, that's what I'm used to, and also the Digitakt and Digitone accept these Type-C inputs, which is amazing. Obviously you could use anything, including other synthesizers. So I'm setting my guitar with the volume all the way up, and then what I want to do on the Digitone is navigate to this master menu. So function LFO will send you to master, and here you have your inputs there. So I'm going to set it up to pretty much full. Then since we're focusing on delay, I'm going to make sure the delay is set pretty high. So it goes up to 127, I'm just going to set it at 110. Then let's get into the delay menu. So delay menu here, function filter. So this delay menu is not just for the externals, in case you don't know. Just a reminder that the way that send effects work to make this amazing box more efficient, all of the individual synth tracks are sending their delays to the same thing. So if we're on track 1, for example, I've got this acid patch. If I look at the amp page for this, I can see that we're also sending some delay there. So you want to make sure, unless you're looking for some really esoteric, crazy mess of noise, you probably want to turn off the delay sends if you want to use the internal patterns and play an external instrument with delay feedback at the same time. So once we understand that when we make a feedback loop, we're taking everything with us, let's get back to that delay page. You have your time, which you, holding the function button, can set in nice clean intervals, which is really useful. You have a ping pong on and off, which will affect the way that stereo bounces. Width, also stereo. You have a high pass, low pass, which is really good for filtering out stuff slowly, smoothly, how much of the reverb or of the delay is getting sent to the reverb, and then the big kahuna, the feedback. The feedback is the thing that is going to determine how much of your delay is feeding back on itself, obviously, which is the entire point of this trick. First things first, if we look at the metronome symbol there for the BPM, we can go in and set the tempo of the pattern manually, and also have, if you hit function, a tap tempo function. So if you're playing along to other music or you're syncing things up, internal patterns, it will happen automatically, obviously, but it's just one more thing to keep in mind. So if we leave everything pretty much in its place and focus on the feedback, I've got it currently at 60. And turn up my guitar. We hear it fade out relatively quickly, but if we want to crank it up, it's going to start to get out of control. So let's pull it down. Obviously what we want to do is, if we're running a loop, we probably don't want to go over 100. So if we start with it at 95, then we can keep it there steady around 100 and it will hold. What we want to do in fading it out is start to pull that down fairly slowly. So we can filter it out in that way, but if we want to have something a little slightly more interesting, we can also use the filter. So we've got a basic loop, we can fade it in, fade it out. Let's try something a bit more wacky. So turn the guitar up. What we can do is play with this speed. We have some weird industrial techno rave type pattern. And again with the smooth fade out. That one is cool, but what I really like doing if I have a drop or a build up, if I'm playing a track on the side, is to actually go in the opposite direction. So if I play something like, I can pull the speed up. The opposite way. Something you can do as well is you can actually change the delay send while you're playing. So if I wanted to play in a little bit of ambience, I could actually theoretically solo over the top as well. I think that it's really fun to play with and get interesting textures and stuff, and also for live performance like I mentioned. And hopefully it's useful if you have a Digitakt or a Digitone. Now you have a delay pedal hanging around. I have some other videos with some tutorials on Elektron gear, as well as other synthesizers and music, so check it out, or subscribe if you're interested. If you watch this far, I hope it helped. Hope you have a good day.